So wonderful to be here with you all. You all have such a sweet and loving faces, and I think that is what Swami not only saw, but he felt it the moment we land in Chennai, because as Shurja was saying, it was quite amazing, you know, that evening when he just said, even before his talk, we need something here. These people are ready. And for me, it was amazing to see that, because he felt it, he started moving energy, and this thing happened right away. So that was how Swamiji used to work. I would like to mention there are, as you know, there are avatars who come on earth just to help mankind, just to rise their consciousness and to help, to uplift mankind. Usually, in general, those avatars never come alone, because there is a huge mission. It's the transformation, or most of them, mankind. So they need help. They need people who come with them and help them to make this divine mission. I don't know if you have heard or you have read in the book Autobiography of a Yogi, there is a chapter where Jesus appears to Babaji many years ago. And Jesus said to Babaji, "What is happening down here on earth? You know, I came many years ago to bring the true teachings of Christianity, and they have forgotten. They are doing wonderful things on earth, they have devotion, they are doing good things, but they have forgotten what is the true purpose of life, which is to commune inwardly with God, to feel God's presence in every day of your life, in whatever you do, in your family, in your work, everywhere." And Babaji was hearing, this is a true fact according to Master in the book. And Jesus said, "So let's send someone down there just to help, to change this mentality, someone who can share the true message of Christianity and the true message of India, the true Hinduism. Let's send someone." So Paramahansa Yoganandaji was the one who was sent in this Dwapara Yuga to share the teachings of true Christianity and the true Hinduism through the Bhagavad Gita and through the Bible. For me, now that I'm trying to feel more deeply who is Swami Kriyananda and what was his true purpose and his true mission of coming here. He didn't come by himself, for himself. He didn't have anything to achieve. But that moment when Jesus asked Babaji to send someone, and they decide that Yoganandaji will be the one, in that moment is when I feel in my heart that Swamiji's missions start. Because he will be one of those helpers who will come with this great avatar to uplift the mankind. When Swami Kriyanandaji's mother was pregnant, she told him, to Swami Kriyananda, "You know, the moment that I felt I was pregnant, mentally I say, God, this child I'm giving to you." So Swamiji, since the beginning, even when he came this lifetime, his whole life was offering to God. And that has been the whole purpose of his life. he said many times, I only have 2 desires, only 2, which is to find God and to help others to find Him. Only those 2 desires he has been living for. Anything else. And most of us, Ananda people, and disciples of Yogananda, have the same desires. We want to find God and we want to help others, but our intensity of those desires were not as deep as Swamiji had, because we still have desires to enjoy this kind of food, to have this nice house. So those 2 desires are mixed with the desires to find God and to help others. But Swamiji didn't have any other desire except those 2. And that magnetism, that intensity is why he came here, to find God, to help us, to help others. There is a very sweet story that I love it. Swamiji, when he was a child, he was a little kid, he had a bicycle. So he invited almost every day when he just bought or someone gave that bicycle, he invited all his friends to come with him and be part of this fun thing of the bicycle. So when Swamiji learned to use that bicycle, he started to teach his friends how to ride in a bicycle. So one of them will sit in the bicycle, Swamiji will hand the seat of the bicycle and the handle on the bicycle and will go with them. Then when Swamiji felt that they were comfortable enough, he will remove his hand for the handle of the bicycle and he will hand only with the seat. And then when Swamiji felt that his friend was already ready to ride the bicycle by himself, he removed himself completely from the picture and he led that soul to ride the bicycle by himself without needing to be worried about it, because he knew already how that soul will be able to do his own ride by himself. And that's exactly the life of Swami Kriyananda, what he has done with each one of us and what he's still doing. The moment that Swami passed away is not an ending at all. Actually, it's a new beginning, because it's going to give us the opportunity to create a relationship, an inner relationship with that kind of consciousness. Every time that I think of Swami Kriyananda, ever more I know that he wasn't a person. He was a physical form, and he was a personality that he had to deal with, but he wasn't a person. He was a state of consciousness, a divine consciousness. He just came with that consciousness, and everything that he has done in this lifetime has not affected any of his own karma. Very interesting. When Swami Kriyananda came to his guru, when he was in SRF, in his organization, just the very beginning, Master was giving a Kriya initiation. And Swami Kriyananda was there. It was his first Kriya initiation. And Master said, and Swamiji said, I have never heard before, either he never said again. So Paramahansa Yogananda ji said in that Kriya initiation, from all those here present, there will be a few Siddhas and a few Jivanmuktas. And Swamiji was there. And Swami is so humble that he never will say in public, he never will say something who will bring his own state of consciousness a little bit higher, because it wasn't his style. He was here to represent the example of how to be a humble devotee, but he was more than that. So Swami never say those things in public, but a few of us, he told us, I think Master referred to me as one of the Jivanmuktas. And those one, in fact, many of the readings that he had, the previous reading and many other readings, all those pandits have told him, you are going to be freed this lifetime. You are a Jivanmukta. But it's something that Swami wasn't proud of it. It wasn't interesting for him. He was just here to find God and help others. What is a Jivanmukta? A Jivanmukta is someone who comes on earth with the only thing that he has to work out is his past karma. In this lifetime, he will never generate any karma at all. So Swami, as a Jivanmukta, he came here since he was born. Every thought he had, every action that he did, every word that he said didn't generate any karma at all. Nothing. Some of us are trying to, everything that we think, imagine all the things that we think during the day when we mistrust about someone, or when we try to cut corners and all those things. Imagine how much karma, without knowing, we are generating, and we will need to come back again and again until those karmic bonds and karmic relationships are balancing out. Swami was free from that this lifetime. So all his work that he has done, all the communities, to each person that he has counseled, has never generated any bad karma at all. It's quite fascinating. I mean, I'm still trying to meditate, because it really helped me to realize, what kind of consciousness Swamiji had. So I can tune into that consciousness, not into him. He was just here to show us lesson, but as the type of consciousness that he had and we all have. But we don't know that we have that, and this is why Swamiji came. Swamiji lived, I should just say, Swamiji say, try to live always in your highest potential. And many of us, are trying to do that in meditation, doing spiritual things, reading good books, listening good music. We are always trying to help ourselves to live in that highest consciousness or our higher self. Swamiji already came with that. He was living all the time in his highest potential. What is your highest potential? To be happy all the time, to be detached all the time, not indifferent, but to be detached all the time. Try to help others, try to be as dharmic as you can, try to be truthful, try to be sincere. Swami was living in that state of consciousness, and that has not gone anywhere. That is still here around all of us. So if we tune into that, we will be with him. We will be with each saint of each religion ever lived in the history, because there is where all the saints are living, in that consciousness and in the heart. In the heart, here is everything. This chakra, when you open your heart, then is when you can receive. I want to share a very, very sweet story that I think, even though I was the person to receive because I needed it so much, I think it wasn't for me at all. I think it was for me to share so we can have a better understanding how this heart thing works. When Swamiji passed away, after 4 years living with him constantly since 6 in the morning until 11 p.m., every single day, no days off, no rest, constantly, like a never-ending cycle, which of course it was the greatest blessing of my life, and it will be a lifetime memory and maybe lifetimes memory, but it had his own challenges too. You know, to live with a person who has such a high energy, you have to bring your high level of energy, whether, I mean, it doesn't care if you have in a bad mood, if you would like to stay today longer in bed, or if you, doesn't work. You are here to serve your guru, and better for you to do it the best that you can, because in that process you are helping yourself to reach, always to live in that your highest potential. So when Swamiji passed away, you know, being with him all the time, and suddenly he was out, you know, his physical form was completely out of my reality. You know, for 4 years I was so focused in him. My whole life was around his needs, trying to tune into his state of consciousness, trying to see what was, you know, what was needed around him so he could do his dharma too. So of course his being out of that physical body, it was a little bit painful, you know, and I have my human part and aspect, which I was very sad, you know, and I cried many times, and you know, and I was trying to talk with Swamiji in my own way, you know, like, thank you for everything that you have done. How will ever, you know, give you back all that you have done for me and for all of us? And you know, you start to realize how much he has loved you, all of us. And there I was feeling myself like a little bit lonely. Now what I'm going to do, I know that you are with me, but I would like to know more, or a sign if you really are with me in my heart, how I can do that. So 1 or 2 days passed away, and then the following day Swami passed away, and 2 days after I received a phone call. It was one of my dearest brothers in Assisi, a Guru Bhai, and he phoned me and he said, you know, Narayani, I have to tell you something. I had such a wonderful dream last night. I never dreamed with anything in my life, but last night it was something very special, and I feel it's very, very real, and I think I have to share with you. And I was still in my nostalgia with Swami. So okay, tell me. And he said, you know, I had a dream where you, Swamiji, and that person, he was telling the story, so Swamiji, that person, and myself, we were together in the temple in Assisi, in our temple. And at that moment my phone rang. So I was talking or being with them, so I left that group to take my phone because I was receiving a phone call. So I looked at my phone, and it was Swami, that he was calling me in my cell phone. So, and at that moment when I see it was Swami, and I was going to press the button just to say Swami, just to speak with him, at that moment my friend said that Swamiji said, Narayani, what are you doing to communicate with me? You don't need your cell phone. Use this one. And he had a pink phone in his hand. And my friend said, you know, I think he wanted to tell you a message. Pink is the color of the heart. It's the heart chakra. If you want to speak with him, go to your heart, go within, and there is where Swamiji is with you. You don't need anything else. For me, that was not only a nourish in my whole system to receive that message, because I already knew in my heart, and I knew that he is with us, he was with me, but to have such a direct message is not only for a person, because it's such a true divine law that is for everyone, because in the heart, in the chakra of the heart, is where you can communicate with every single saint, with your own guru, no matter where he is. What about those people in Christianity who are in the church, who believe in Jesus? They never met Jesus, but Jesus is his guru. I never met Master, but I have learned through the years how to communicate with my Guru. Even though he's not in the physical aspect anymore, it doesn't matter. Actually, that's the true and only relationship that it should be. Because when there is a physical form, you get confused, for personality issues. But when he's not in the body anymore, you have a better and clear perception of messages, and meditation helps to do that. Stillness helps to do that. To be kind helps to do that, because it brings out the heart, around the heart, a very openness to receive whatever message God, your own Guru, your sister who died 7 years ago, but you still feel everything is in the heart. And all of us, if we learn how to do that, it's a very unique and individual process that God is giving you the opportunity each lifetime until you find out how to do it. And some of us already in this hall, we are already going through that process. We want to learn how to be more sensitive, how to have deeper messages. And I would like to say that, just to finish, that Swamiji now, all these gurus, are more accessible now than when they were in the body. Because now they are everywhere. Now they are one with the infinite consciousness. Now with true divine love, one with kindness, one with peace. And if we tune into those aspects in our heart, we will feel their presence constantly in every single day of our life. And not only that, if we achieve to the point that we can share that feeling that we have in our hearts with everyone we meet, with all members in our family, with all those nasty people in our world that make us life difficult, we are in tune with God's infinite love, with all the great gurus and with all the saints and sages from all religions. And I think if we learn how to live in our heart, we are safe. We are already very, very, very close to God's presence and God's infinite love. Thank you.